So it's Monday, and from time to time on Mondays I like to talk about the gear that I use, and today I will show you my photo editing setup, of course, while editing some landscape photography. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography and I make videos just like this one, where I share some photo editing tips that anybody can follow. So if you're here for the first time and you love photography like me, it might be a good idea to subscribe. I was in Lake Tahoe last week, and since I'm editing some of the photos for my Where to Focus video that I will post on Thursday, I thought this could be a good opportunity to show you my photo editing process and setup. So what do I use to edit my photos? Well, let's start with the computer. I use a MacBook Pro. This is not the newest MacBook. It is the 2016 MacBook Pro with the spacebar. My MacBook is connected to the BenQ SW271 4K photo editing monitor. This one. This monitor has been a real game changer for me. First of all, it is specifically made and thought for photographers and photo editing. It comes with its dedicated factory calibration report. The IPS panel has fantastic color accuracy, and I can rotate it for my vertical shots. I really dig the shading wood. I feel immersed in my photo. I love this monitor. And I use this Logitech MX Master 2S, which is really cool as it has a lot of customizable options depending on which program I'm using. So when I am in Lightroom, I can customize the function of each buttons specifically for Lightroom. Pretty cool. This is what I use, I would say 90 to 95% of the times when I edit some composite images. Instead, basically most of my Lady in Red series, I use a Wacom tablet, as with the pen I'm able to be more precise while masking. Okay, but I know that you want to see some proper photo editing. So let's do that. And here we are in Lightroom. I have my monitor. As you can see, I can actually adjust the height. I have a light that is actually pointing at me to make sure that this video is properly lit. And as a matter of fact, this monitor, which is an IPS panel as I mentioned, is not affected at all by the reflecting light, which is pretty awesome. Anyways, what I want to do for this video is the following. Basically, I want to show you my process, start to finish, when I'm dealing with an image that is clearly going to be a challenge. My histogram is clipping to the right as I'm shooting into the sun. I see all sorts of problems in this photo, but let's get started. And first of all, as I mentioned, this is one of the photos that I took last weekend in Lake Tahoe. I will be using these images for a couple of videos that are coming up about how to focus in landscape photography and how to take sharp images in landscape photography. But let's talk about this image. As you can see, this is a 389 seconds f/16 ISO 64 with my 20mm lens. And I shot this at f/16, which is the smallest aperture, the closest aperture of my 20mm lens, because I wanted to get those sunburst stripes around the sun. Otherwise, normally I would prefer to use an aperture range between f8 and f11. Nevertheless, so let's get started. The first thing that I like to do is to remove the chromatic aberration and enable the profile correction from the lens corrections panel. Then I will open the crop and straighten panel, where I want to make sure that my horizon is fairly straight. I will do this manually. That's good. In the same panel, I will also change the aspect ratio, because I like to use this image as the thumbnail for this video, as possibly you saw already. So I selected the 16:9 aspect ratio and I will crop the image to my liking. I like the tree and the sun to be slightly off the center. I think it creates more interest. I also like to see this lateral leading line of the sand to give a little depth to the image. I'm noticing something that I don't like to see, which is these kind of dots. You see this? This is dust in my sensor. Possibly I will need to clean my sensor soon. I guess it was exposed to the elements for too long. Let me know if you're interested in seeing a video about how I clean my sensor at home. Let me know in the comments. And to remove those spots, I will open this spot removal tool, and I will also tag along the visualize spots. This will help me to see if I have more than these pretty obvious spot. I can see another one right here. And I think for now this is it. Then let me go into the basic panel where I will change the profile into Adobe Landscape as I use a neutral density filter. In this case, I use the 15 stops neutral density filter. Of course, I have a little color cast that I will try to correct by selecting a neutral white. Okay, the image is really dark. As you can see from the histogram, everything is shifted to the left, which is not what I like. But I guess that during these 389 seconds, the clouds cover the sun more than what I thought, and the result is that the image is slightly underexposed. At the same time, I'm picking to the right as I'm shooting at the sun, which is clearly super bright. So let's see if we can open this image a little bit, and I will increase the exposure. I will reduce the highlights, and I will increase the shadows. Yeah, right here. Then hold down the shift key, double click on whites, opening my histogram a little more, hold the shift key again, double click on blacks, touch of clarity, touch of dehaze. I will actually work more with these sliders. Locally, I'm increasing the vibrance a little bit, and as usual, a touch of saturation. Close the basic panel and open the tone curve. Let's see if the medium contrast will help, and it does a little bit. And now I will open the split toning panel. I will introduce a little orange yellow hue in the highlights as I am shooting at the sun. It's late afternoon and I want to give this golden look to the image. At the same time, in my shadows, I like to keep a bluish hue. And I can also play with the balance and make my image either cooler or warmer. And I will stay with the warmer. Let's add a little bit of sharpening now. I will zoom in to see better. I will reduce the radius as I always do. I will increase my details and add a little bit of sharpening. But of course, I don't want to sharpen the entire image, so I will hold down the Alt key, move the masking slider to the right, and so the more I move this slider to the right, the more the image will become black. Basically, whatever is black will not be sharpened, and whatever is white will be sharpened. And I will stop right here. And we can see at this time, just with the general adjustments, what we have accomplished. This is the before, and this is the after. It's good, but it could be better. So I will now add the graduated filter, hold the shift key and drag the filter from the bottom to keep it horizontal, and then we can place it wherever we think is more appropriate. And now here I like to reduce the highlights because there is a lot of highlights in the reflections of the sun into the water. I will open up the shadows, and when I increase the shadows I always add a little bit of blacks because I don't want the image to look unreal. So that's what I do. And now I will also add a little bit of dehaze because I believe that the reflection of the sun into the water is creating this glare that I want to kind of see through. Then I will also have a graduated filter for the sky. Maybe here I will decrease the highlights. I will increase the contrast. Anyways, this is it. I hope that this video at least is going to convince you that when you shoot in RAW, you will be able to take very challenging images, like shooting at the sun, and then retrieve a lot of information in post-production. As we started from this, now we have this. And this is all for today. I hope to see you on Thursday for the Where to Focus in Landscape Photography video. I also hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you feel like, you can hit the like button, and you can always let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I like to read them all. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.